the continuing power cuts are likely to affect water supply in the city of Tshwane. According to the city, there's a possibility that most high-lying areas will be impacted. We speak to the MMC in the city of Tshwane for Utility Services, that's Daryl Johnston, for more on this. Thank you very much for availing yourself this afternoon. So help us understand how the city's water and sanitation systems work.
Hi, Judy. Thank you. Yeah, the thing is that obviously with the continued load shedding and particularly the highest stages of stage 5 and 6 as we currently find ourselves facing, is that the city's water and sanitation systems do rely on pumping stations to move water around to high-lying areas, and obviously with protracted outages that we're experiencing, this can have an impact, and it really is just to sensitize our residents to these facts. Obviously the teams are monitoring reservoir levels and so forth, and it's just to try and encourage our residents to be mindful of this and the impacts that can have, so that we rather deal with the issues and try and conserve rather than dealing with problems of not having water and so forth at critical stages.
Where are these high-lying areas, and have you received complaints from citizens yet?
The high-lying areas in places like Laudium, Waterkloof, and so forth, even out towards Mooikloof, the areas that are also fed by booster pumps, and so they're not fed from reservoirs and they're not relying on gravity at that point, and so that's where it does become an issue, is that there needs to be ongoing pumping of that water, and so where there's load shedding, that has those sorts of impacts.
You mentioned reservoirs. I take it that's a contingency plan that the city has in place. How long until they run dry should these power cuts continue?
Well, your reservoirs are designed to be able to withstand maybe a couple of days, depending on of water interruptions. That's the purpose behind them, and to deliver that water to the residential areas. And so that's why we monitor them and just keep a close eye on what is happening there, so that we can try and obviate any of those types of outages. But we did see, I think in October, as you may recall, when we were having the supply issues from Rand Water, that we certainly did run into problems there, but that's over a longer period.
We understand that some parts of the city are already at level 1 water restrictions. Your tips for residents?
Well, the whole city is actually on level 1 water restriction. We moved back in at the beginning of November after the Rand Water outages that we experienced in October, and they implemented level 2, but the entire city is in fact on level 1, and this is born out of the fact that our demand is exceeding the allocation from Rand Water. So we have to manage that as best as possible, and obviously we need to try and conserve water, and unfortunately it's not like electricity where the power is turned off and you simply don't have any waters in the taps, even though it's level 1, and people unfortunately sometimes use it. They use that water and they aren't sparing with it, and so we need to be careful in terms of washing cars, watering gardens, water gardens later, water between 6 in the evening, 6 in the morning, as has been recommended with the restriction levels. Don't use water to wash down driveways and perform unnecessary tasks, and just try and be as water wise. Reuse water, harvest rainwater for filling swimming pools and watering gardens, and just reduce demand through those kinds of mechanisms.
Much to Daryl Johnston, MMC, City of Tshwane Utility Services.